I've just been watching the movie The Ship That Rocked, or to give it the American title, Pirate Radio. Sort of jogged my memory a bit on the early recollections of popular music as I heard it in England. But before commenting on the movie, I'll just go into some of the background. The people who are the first of the baby boomers really wanted something different to the music that they've been hearing from their parents, and American rock and roll certainly seemed to fit that bill. The top artists had either toured in England or had had movies released, and this inspired a lot of young people. They always wanted more, but couldn't get it because of the way the BBC was organised at the time. At best, their attempt was a programme called 6-5 Special, which came on at 5 after 6 on a Saturday evening in the late 50s. This was a slight change for the BBC because previously there was no broadcasting between 6 and 7. There was a time called Toddler's Truce. No broadcasting, so that parents could put the small children to bed. My introduction to full broadcast of popular music came about listening to the radio with a Australian DJ called Alan Freeman. This was 1 hour on a Sunday afternoon. Pick of the Pops had been around for a few years before he took it over. He changed the format to have the risers in the top 20, a few new releases, and then the countdown of the top 10. The only other popular music that we could readily listen to would be on Radio Luxembourg in the evening, and even then there wasn't that much of it. The baby boom started approximately 10 years before I was born, so there was already a whole group of people interested in this music. Only before then, music was something really complicated. But a musician by the name of Lonnie Donegan, who played skiffle music, showed people that you could have simple instruments and know only 3 chords, and you're already on your way to performing. The basic instruments being a tea-chest bass, a washboard, acoustic guitar, maybe a kazoo, sometimes a harmonica. Nothing really complicated. These records were coming into England, or in the case of the north of England, into the port of Liverpool, brought over by the sailors, and so the young people were hearing this music, wanting to imitate it. One group of young people who were particularly influenced and went on to great fame were the Beatles. But they said at the time in Liverpool, if you were young, you were either in a band or listening to a band. These young people were able to finance the purchase of their instruments by playing at the dances, and so that was great for them. It also meant a lot of people were around. Nostalgically, people think that all the music of that era was good. I'm not so convinced of that, but because so many people were playing, then of course something good had to come out of it. But as I said in the intro, there wasn't much in the way of popular music on the BBC, so there was this real hunger for popular music, and the ships certainly provided that. Some of them were on actual ships, others took over old World War II fortresses in the Thames estuary. In the north we had Radio Caroline North with its 24/7 music, popular music, but also I'm thankful that they introduced me to the music of the Dubliners and their great vocalist at the time, Luke Kelly. Young people posting on YouTube today will also say that they wish they were born in this era, that music was so great, etc. Well, that's true, but these days we have YouTube, we can relive our memories and listen to the artist anyway. Apart from some of the very early stuff, because recording tape was expensive, BBC shows were live, and no one saw the need to archive it because of the expense of the tape. It was often reused, and there were various other agreements with the unions regarding rebroadcast of programs, so there's an extremely limited amount of rebroadcasting done. But with the ships, the movie gives the impression that people live permanently on the ships. I seem to recall more DJs being missing from their regular slot, someone else filling in and saying that so and so had gone ashore for some R&R. But perhaps that varied from each channel. One of the things they did, of course, they got money from advertising, but they also had us convinced that we were truly part of a revolution and that we should pay money to join their fan club, which of course was another source of income for them. Whether anyone became incredibly rich from this, I don't know. But it did give us the music that we wanted before the government finally decided that they were in charge of allocating frequencies and controlling what we listened to. And that was the Marine Offences Act. Some of the ships did go on broadcasting afterwards, but the government made it increasingly difficult for them. Many of the DJs went to work for the BBC on their newly established Radio 1 network. But whatever age you are, the soundtrack is fantastic. For those oldies, it's going to bring back some great memories, and younger people introduce you to some great music of the era. I was able to listen to the movie and identify every song as it was played. Others of you might have to wait to the end or go on to something like IMDb to see who the artists are. But either way, great movie. It does get a little bit sentimental at times regarding the era, but I guess all of us have different memories of it, how it was. So it's put together quite nicely. I highly recommend it. And any other questions you can post on YouTube, I'll try and answer some of them. Or if you want to do your own research and give me some more background from your recollections, that's also a great way to go about it. Either way, hope you're all enjoying life.